Okay, kids, we are back, and you're looking at Coach Neal Wolfrath. Hi, Coach. How you? So, Coach is a PE teacher, just like me. How long have you been a PE teacher, Coach?
8 years
And
for PE.
tell the kids about yourself. Where do you work? How long have you worked there? What? Tell us the Neal
Sure,
Wolfrath story.
sure. Well, I'll start with I teach at Shorecrest Prep down in St. Petersburg. I teach PE for preschool 3-year-olds all the way up to fourth graders. Like I said, this is my 8th year doing PE there, but it's my 22nd year at the school. And so prior to PE, I taught in the classroom in both kindergarten and in third grade. Kindergarten for 5 years and third grade for 9 years. So I'm just a PE coach here, and I'm running out of fingers, but I think 5 plus 9 plus 8 comes out to 22. Um, and got my start at Shorecrest actually just a stroke of luck. I was substitute teaching and had a connection through some parents of some kids I coached soccer. Their kids went to the school, and I kind of got involved there, subbed, and then as soon as a position opened up, I jumped on it and was able to be very fortunate to get that position and have the opportunity to have all those different positions within one school setting, which is nice because you kind of get a good feel for the kids, the families, the school environment there. It's a place that I've always felt very, very comfortable at, and I've enjoyed working there. So that's kind of a quick little synopsis of how I got to Shorecrest. How I got involved in teaching was actually through coaching summer camps at the illustrious Marauder Soccer Camp, which maybe
Yes.
some of your students have heard of. And I really could not be more thankful and happy that opportunity was presented to me so early in life to realize that my passion was going to be in coaching and in teaching and working with kids because at that age, just out of high school, you think you know everything, and then you quickly find out that you know nothing. And to find some direction that early was really good for me. And the passion of coaching and teaching is just so perfectly melded in PE. When I found that position, I knew it was exactly where I needed to be because you get the best of both worlds. You get PE, you get working with kids all day, then you get to be outside and coaching and seeing that excitement in kids when they're successful is really great. PE for the most part is the subject almost every kid likes going to, so that's fun. And it's so great to see the progress over the years. In the classroom, you have that hands-on every day, and you get to see that progress. From the beginning of the year to the end, and then you start the next year with a new batch of kids and going on and on. But to see a kid who started with me at the age of 3 that didn't even know they went to Shorecrest or what was going on, or was more concerned about chasing the butterflies or picking the flowers or whatever, and then to see them at 10 moving at the end of fourth grade and just so excited to share their progress with them. It's just really, really cool. I can think of a couple of specific examples of kids who wouldn't want to even get off of the starting line where we start our classes when they're in 3-4 years old to by 9-10, raising their hand to demonstrate something in front of the entire grade. It's pretty exciting. So it's the kind of thing that it's just, I don't know. I know you know what I mean because you get to see the same thing. It's so hard to put into words.
Yes.
Exciting just doesn't. It sounds trite and kind of like I keep saying exciting, but it just is. It's fun.
Well, the words will always come up short, but you're doing, I think, a good job of sort of expressing the feeling that it gives you, because it is hard to say, and sometimes the things that are the coolest do leave you a bit speechless. They're just hard to find the words.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I was going to ask you what the difference was between teaching PE and in the classroom, but you kind of talked about it a little bit, didn't you?
yeah, I mean, it's one thing that I missed in the classroom, because I had a teacher actually just ask me about this a few months ago because she was considering making the same change out of the classroom into PE. But the thing about the classroom that I really enjoyed was you get to create your own little world inside the world of the school.
Mm-hmm.
And you have all these fun little inside things. I mean, I had started this little like special kind of high five with one grade one year, and then it just kept going to the point where I did it 1 year, and then the next year fourth graders would come up to me if I saw them and they would do it. So then my class that year was like, what was that all about? And I was like, all right, I'll show you, it's this. And then that just kept going to the point where I have seniors, because our school goes all the way up to 12th grade. So I have seniors and juniors, that was my last third grade class before I switched to PE. When I see them on campus, they'll still come up and give me the same high five.
That's awesome.
So now the PE kids are like, hey, what? So you get to create your own little world. The flip side of that, the exciting thing is, like I had said, all that stuff about, the example of a kid at 3 years old to 10 years old, the big difference there. It's fun to see that progress too. So,
well, it's interesting that what the thing you talk about when you're being in the classroom has nothing to do with academics, math, science, or lessons. It has to do with the human interaction. And you can have that human interaction as a PE teacher, kind of in a different way, I guess.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So you do get that. Again, even just within my lessons for PE, you still get to create your own terminology or, routines, or kids just sort of know what to expect. And it's like, this might fly, with this teacher or whatever, but not Coach Wolfrath, or this does fly with Coach Wolfrath.
Yes.
On the flip side, like, hey, it's, I can be a little goofy, and this is the right time for me to crack a joke. I mean, I remind the kids that I'm still the funniest guy of the group, but and I applaud them for trying, but but it is fun to see, they know that it is okay to be goofy now, or have some fun, or smile.
Those are magic moments, aren't they? When
very
you've
exciting.
reached that level. Now, it's interesting. You'll that when you talk about the high five, because what you're doing is you're creating something that is shared, and it's shared over a long period of time. One thing that we do, you'll recognize this and you'll appreciate it. At our school, is we name things. And the things that we name are the physical features of the PE area. So we've named the water fountain, and we've named the playground equipment, like the monkey bars and the court. And so the way we name things, you'll recognize, is the same way we used to name teams for the Natural Disasters Cup at camp. So everybody gets a chance, everybody in the entire school gets a chance to nominate a name. And then for about 3 weeks, we write all the names up on the whiteboard. And then for about 3 weeks, each class that comes in, we do about 20 names of it's in there or it's out of there.
I remember this. Yes.
Yep. And then we just little by little cross the names off, and eventually get down to about 3 or 4 names, and then we vote. We actually physically vote. It's no longer controversial. And so we have like our the first thing we named was the whiteboard, which is Bob. That's the name they came up with.
Great name. It's no Phil, but it's a good name.
Phil was the best name. Phil, I have told the kids about that, about Phil, and about the team name. Your team name, what's your team name? Phil. It's so great, and uh, and then we've got Bobo, which is the playground bars. We've got Big Daddy, which is the court. The Eagles Landing, which is the field. Hubba Bubba, which is the shelter that covers the court. The funny thing about Hubba Bubba was,
quick, it's raining. Run under Hubba Bubba.
Yes.
Over by Big Daddy.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Go the ball rack, Kevin. so like we and Hubba Bubba, you'll like this. Hubba Bubba came in second place 3 times in a row, and finally made it over the top. As
So proud of him.
Yes. So anyway, that's kind of like the similar thing of the handshake that carries on over years. It's something that you share that nobody else really kind of knows what's going on. And we found a way to do that sort of on a school-wide level at PE with just the naming of things and the whole process.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yes, I love it. I took some of the in there, out of there, away from camp. One quick example of it was a couple times, or usually 1 week a month, we have, as PE teachers, we have to do the morning duty, like kind of observe, like monitor the kids as they're coming in before they go to class. And it was raining, so we had to go into a classroom, and I had way too many kids in a classroom. And it was getting rowdy, so it was right around Halloween, so we were listing everyone's favorite Halloween candy, and we were voting, and we did the in there, out of there, and some kids were like, it started erupting as we were like eliminating, Reese's Pieces, out of there, how it goes. And I look out the window, and the doors open, and you can just hear this eruption, and kids are like sprinting to get into the classroom.
That is
just because they're like, what's happening? I'm missing something. It must be important. Then a teacher poked in and like, what is going on? And I'm like, I was like, whatever, Milky Way in there.
That's beautiful. Those are great moments. Those are beautiful moments. Oh boy, we could go on. Sure.
I know. Sorry, kids.
And kids, Coach Wolfrath is actually the funniest person. That's long been settled. So I get some of my good stuff. I won't give attribution. Yes, I will. Next year I will. Next year at PE, I'll tell you guys which of my little things that I have to put down to him. Okay, so do you remember being in PE when you were a kid?
I do, yeah.
What do you remember about it?
As long ago as it was, yes, they had PE back then still. I do, yeah. I would say overall, my takeaway is a positive one. I mean, I liked being active. I liked playing. I was always like at recess wanting to run and do whatever and be active there, and played sports outside of school. Just loved that part of it. But I do have also, I can, as I think back on it, I think I have some, I won't call them bad memories, but just that all that good is tempered with some sense of just, I don't know any other word other to call it, like pressure felt in certain settings, and I've tried to let this guide my instruction both in the classroom and on the field, but just feeling like there's just one goal for an entire group, and and it might not have been there, but it still was a feeling. Excuse me, still a feeling I had, which means it was at least somewhat there of this whole group's success is riding on what I do right now,
right?
And that's not to say that that's necessarily bad or not. It's just how is it dealt with after that happens?
Right.
How do we deal with being successful if that occurs, and how do we deal with not being successful if it didn't go well? Is more where I would say that I felt like that pressure was coming because it wasn't always a positive interaction or a positive environment if it didn't go well. And that's not to say that, like I said, it's not to say that playing a game and losing is bad. And it's okay to be upset if you lose. I preach this to my kids. But, is it okay to be excited when you win? Absolutely. Winning is awesome. Is it okay to be disappointed when you lose? Yes, I hate losing. I would much rather win. Winning is more fun. But more importantly is what do you do after? And, you're not winning the World Cup. You didn't score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. You can be excited, but there's no reason to be going crazy. And you also, if you lose, there's no reason to be so mad at somebody else. I'll say, well, what was the score last week? I don't know. Who won last week? I don't remember. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So, I guess the question was my feeling when I was in PE. I loved it, but at the same time, I can say that there were takeaways for me that I, try to make sure that kids aren't feeling that pressure. It doesn't all ride on you. Maybe that one play, but how are we going to act after? I guess is the big thing, and it's a good moment to character build. For both sides.
You sound like
I hope that kind of answers the question.
No, it's great. I mean, the kids will very much recognize this way of thinking. You sound like you're a member of the